thank the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency General Dr. Museveni, and the CDF of Defense Forces, General Oscar Nerugaba, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ajalu Makasoro, and the Commissioner of Patriotism, Madam Helen Seku, the Director of Blood Chakwas, Colonel Open Kokoda, and the Cabinet at large for the opportunity to bring us back home. Thank you, Patriotism. I'm Ugandan. I love Uganda. I serve Uganda. I'm loyal to Uganda. I'm proud to be Ugandan. I sacrifice for Uganda. I love myself for what I got to Uganda.
You know, I've been seeing this video doing the rounds on social media, South Africans having a blast, just laughing away at what I guess the government of Uganda has done to the returnees from South Africa. Now, I don't know. I'm seeing this in two ways. I'm seeing a positive and I'm also seeing a negative. Unfortunately, the negative is going to override the positive. But let me start with the positive. The positive here is patriotism. The government of Uganda was like, the reason why you left Uganda to begin with is because you are ungrateful. You are unpatriotic. You do not love your country. And so instead of living with the rest of us and going through all of it together, you decided that you are going to go to South Africa. So it sounds as though, you know, how back in the day, back in the days of corporal punishment in South Africa before it was abolished, we used to do like for punishment, we used to do like military, like something that has to do with the military, like what was that chair called again? The invisible chair. If it was not the invisible chair, yeah, you do the invisible chair and you do something like this. It was just punishment of some sort. Some of the punishments were like exactly like this. Sometimes you'll be taken to the sports ground and you'll be made to do some military stuff as punishment for whatever it is that you did as a class. Because such usually would be done when a class, for example, a teacher went out and we all started making noise and the teacher did not appoint a monitor or somebody that's going to write names of those that are making noise, which always was my responsibility. But sometimes the teacher thinks, well, they are matured enough. Let me just run to the staff office and then I'll be back. And then the class is making a noise. So we'll get punished, something like this. All of us be taken to the school grounds. And if the PE teacher is available in his office, then he will be the one that will execute the punishment. So it looks like that, like your unpatriotism. This is what we need to do to you. We need to indoctrinate you into being a Ugandan, and you need to be proud of your Ugandan roots and you being a Ugandan and all of that stuff. That is why when you listen to what they are saying patriotic words like, I love Uganda. Uganda is me. I love myself. I'm strong. And then you must also look at the symbolism as well. They are wearing Ugandan army colors. Now that tells you that every Ugandan is not just a Ugandan, but is a soldier of Uganda. You are the defender of your country. No matter what, you are the defender of your country when we are at war. You are a defender of your country when we are all wallowing in poverty. We are all Ugandans and the soldier of Uganda when we are successful, etc., and so on. Now, the flip side of that, which is the negative, this is a vote of no confidence. In other words, that you had on Museveni. How dare you leave Uganda, and by leaving Uganda, you actually gave the president a vote of no confidence. And for that reason, you need to be punished. So that's the dictatorial side of these videos that I am seeing coming from Uganda. And they are quite indiscriminate. Men, women, and I'm also seeing children. So I'm not going to show the video with children because they're children and I don't like showing children on my videos. But these kids, some of them are as young as 5 years old. And so they're being indoctrinated about being a Ugandan. Whether you call that indoctrination or you call that patriotism, I would say it's a mixture of both because somehow it's also giving cult-like vibes and it's also giving indoctrination, like you will never again think outside of who you are as a Ugandan. It's the vote of no confidence for me. That is what I am seeing more than I am seeing the patriotism. Because at the end of the day, Yoweri Museveni had to come so that they see him, greet him, and apologize to him. Even though we are not hearing that they need to, but we don't know when the cameras are not rolling what they had to tell Yoweri Museveni, the president of Uganda. The reason why I am quiet is because I am trying to fathom how does a person becomes president for 46 years? That's my entire life. That's my entire life. But anyways, I think when the cameras are not rolling, they had to apologize to Museveni for, well, they left Uganda. They left Uganda because they wanted greener pastures. And those greener pastures were not being provided for them by their own government, meaning that they're telling Museveni the moment they left Uganda that he's a failure. And so he did not take kindly to that vote of no confidence in him, hence And just to stop the video there, if you look closely, these are young people. Most of them are young people. These are young men and women that, if you think about it, you would have to agree one way or the other with Museveni. Like, you are young, warm-blooded. Why didn't you stay behind and try and fix Uganda? Why were you in South Africa and allowed a 90-something-year-old man to be re-elected when you could have elected somebody different and made your democracy be vibrant and matures, irrespective of how Museveni might feel about opposition? These are young men and women. Unfortunately, those of you who are in Uganda, some of your people here in South Africa, they were doing what you would call not exactly love scams, but what they would do is your men and your older women that you see in there, they would get a good-looking Ugandan man and to target an older South African woman. In most cases, she's a nurse, she's a teacher, or she works somewhere in government and has been working for government for at least 20 to 25 years. And the reason for that is because in their heads, they've calculated that she's made more than above 1.6 million rand in pension or provident funds. And then so this young man goes to this nurse who has been alone, no husband or boyfriend. And maybe she even thought, you know what, at my age, what man is going to look in my direction? And then boom comes a young, good-looking man and then says all the right things that she has not heard in a very long time. And then she thinks that, oh, maybe there's a chance here. He's calculating. And then from there, they form a friendship. The friendship forms into love. And when they're in love, now this young man tells the South African lady, hey, I want you to introduce you to my family. Of course, she's in love, blinded by love even, like a dumb person at her age, behaving like a 17-year-old who has some sort of puppy love. And then she goes with this young man from Uganda and then introduced to a mom of some sort. Now, this is one of those older women you're seeing that are being punished by Museveni. And then the next thing, while they are visiting the mom, the young man will come and say, hey, now that we are here, my ancestors are speaking to me and they want me to bring you to a dark room. And then in the dark room, it cannot be, nobody's seen, but you can hear a voice. And the voice will say, hey, my child, we approve of you. Since we approve of you, we want you to marry our son immediately. Marry. Imagine a whole marriage. And you know what the dumb South African nurse or teacher does? Exactly that. No questions asked, like, wait a minute, but I don't think we can speak directly to our ancestors, but yeah, we are. And then next thing, you already know where this is going. You already know where this is going. And I'm telling you right now, there is a South African woman that is like this, like struck by love by either a man from the Congo or Nigeria, or those that from Uganda that remain behind. That's how they're making their money, their millions, out of our dumb women. Older, you should not be, and these women have children that are adults. They have kids that are adults or at university. And this man will wipe every cent she had in her provident fund or pension fund or both. So that's what they did here in South Africa. Or that's what some of them were trying to do. Maybe they failed, hence the free ticket back to Uganda. But those that have succeeded, they live very lavish lifestyles here in South Africa. They drive fancy cars. They wear designer clothes. They've built a mansion back in Uganda. In case your neighbor has a mansion and they live in South Africa and they are not qualified, they don't have a university degree, and yet their house is like a double, triple story house. That's what they do here in South Africa. They are criminals. I'm just letting you know that your people here, they are criminals. Because there's no way that as a foreign national coming from Uganda with no qualifications, no education of any kind of sort, and you think you're going to come to South Africa and get employment, and yet the people of South Africa themselves do not have employment, what do you think they'll be doing? Yeah, I hope now you get it. I hope you get it. These are the things that South Africans are fighting and making sure that we do not have our aunts, our sisters, dumb as they may be robbed by your people. So whatever Museveni is doing here, it's a double-edged sword to me, instilling patriotism, but at the same time, he is punishing them for making him feel like a failure. I don't know. Please let me know what your thoughts are, but I found this to be very interesting. But South Africans are having a time of their lives. And I am saying, if Ramaphosa dared do something like this to us, because there's no way we'll be doing things like we want to be patriotic, we are patriotic, and we show patriotism in a very, very unique way as South Africans, because the South African government never did what the apartheid government did when it came to patriotism. You literally have to look for a house with the South African flag in South Africa. And yet many other countries in the world, the flag is hanging outside of their front door. Why? Because we have leadership that does not love South Africa. And I ask myself, guys, it helped me. I don't know why I'm getting teary. I think the air once again is dried and it's affecting my eyes. Tell me, guys, do you ever get the sense that some of our leaders in government, they are not South Africans? Do you ever get that sense like, no, you couldn't be South African? Whether that person serves in government in the DA or serves in the ANC, in the government of national unity, do you get that sense that probably this person holds a dual citizenship because they don't behave like a South African and they don't care about South Africa like that? But anyways, I'll leave the video right here. Thank you all so much. But I just thought I'm seeing two things happening in this Museveni thing in Uganda. Punishment, yet installation or reinstallation of patriotism. Okay. I don't know. Maybe you have a different perspective. I would like to hear in the comment section. Once again, thank you guys so much for your support and your love that you've been showing me. I truly appreciate you all. I'm truly blessed. See you later.